Okay, so picture this. You're working on a website, right? And you want to add something new,
Mm.
like a shopping cart, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Would it be amazing to just ask, like your smart speaker, to code that for you?
Yeah, that would be pretty amazing.
I mean, that might sound crazy, but
Sure.
one pretty big tech company thinks that's going to be possible really soon.
Really?
Yeah, like by 2025, AI coding, just like a mid-level engineer. I mean, that's a pretty big prediction.
Wow.
And you might be thinking, come on, really? Is that even possible?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, that's exactly what we're going to deep dive into today.
Okay, so good.
And the thing is, things are changing so fast.
Right.
AI is already coding.
Yeah, and it's come a long way, even though it wasn't that great at the beginning.
Like that guy we heard about, Sam.
Oh, yeah, what happened to him?
He was a developer. And at first, he thought these AI coding assistants were, I don't know, more trouble than they were worth.
Yeah, I can see that.
They would just spit out very basic code, and sometimes it was even wrong.
Uh-oh.
But get this. In just a couple of years, those tools got way better.
Oh, wow.
Sam was saying they could handle really complicated code and were saving him hours of debugging.
That's amazing. That learning curve is crazy.
Right. To go from kind of annoying to super helpful for someone like Sam.
Yeah, he seemed like he really knew his stuff.
Yeah, he did. And it makes you wonder what's coming next, you know?
Totally.
And for AI to get to that, like, mid-level engineer level, it's got some big challenges.
Okay, like what?
Well, it needs to really get natural language.
Right, not just follow basic instructions.
Exactly. What if it could understand, like, what we mean, not just what we say?
Yeah, all the subtle stuff.
Right. So it's more than just following a recipe. It's like understanding flavor.
And how to come up with new recipes.
And it's not just language either. AI needs to get context.
Like how the code fits into the whole project.
Exactly. You wouldn't want someone building a house without looking at the blueprints.
No way.
And don't forget debugging.
Debug.
That's where we humans really shine. You know?
Finding and fixing all those little errors.
Right. Can AI even do that?
Well, that's what we need to figure out. If AI is going to be like a mid-level engineer.
Yeah, it has to be able to, like, think like a developer, right?
Yeah, to understand why the code's not working and how to fix it.
And then there's this idea of learning from mistakes.
Which is how we all get better, right?
Yeah, does AI have that ability?
Well, if it can analyze its errors and change how it does things,
That would be huge.
it would. It would mean AI could get better at coding over time.
Okay, so we've talked about how the tech needs to improve,
Yeah.
but what about the big question?
Is that?
Jobs. If AI can code,
Oh, right.
does that mean human coders are, like, done for?
That's a good question. And it makes sense that people are worried.
Yeah, every time we get new tech, there's that fear.
Yeah, for sure.
But if we look back at history, things usually change. They don't disappear.
Interesting.
Like, think about cars. Cars didn't get rid of jobs, they just changed them.
Okay, I see what you mean.
So maybe instead of being afraid, we should think of AI as changing jobs, not ending them.
That's a good way to look at it.
Maybe we'll even create jobs we haven't thought of yet.
Exactly. We were just talking about those new roles, right?
Like the AI code supervisors and AI integration specialists.
That's right. And who knows what else might pop up.
I love that idea. So instead of being replaced,
Yeah,
we're working with AI.
exactly.
It's a whole new world for software development.
And this brings up another thing. Education.
Right, because if AI is going to code, how do we teach people to do that?
Things would have to change, that's for sure.
Big time. We wouldn't just teach coding anymore.
Right. It would be more about understanding AI,
Yeah. And thinking critically about using it.
like how to make it part of the process
So it's less about the code itself and more about what we can do with AI.
and how to use it responsibly.
It's a big shift.
It is. And I think it's going to be really fascinating to see how it all plays out.
Me too.
Yeah, it really is a big shift. And as we're figuring all of this out,
Mm.
there's a lot to think about.
Like what?
Well, what happens to all the jobs?
Right, that's the big one, isn't it? Everyone's worried about AI taking over.
Yeah, and it's understandable.
I mean, look at what happened to, like, factory workers when automation came along.
Right, but I think it's more complicated than that.
Okay, in what way?
Well, technology usually changes things. It doesn't just destroy them.
Interesting. Can you give me an example?
Sure. Think about when cars were invented.
Okay.
Cars didn't make all jobs disappear, they just changed things.
Yeah, they created new jobs too, right?
Exactly. Like mechanics, car salespeople, all kinds of things.
So maybe AI is more like that.
I think so. It might change what jobs look like, but it won't get rid of them entirely.
That actually makes me feel a bit better.
And remember those new jobs we talked about?
You mean the ones with AI in the title?
Yeah, like the AI code supervisor.
Right, and the AI integration specialist?
Those are just two examples. Who knows what else we'll come up with?
Okay, so tell me more about those.
Well, the AI code supervisor would, make sure the AI is doing a good job.
So they're like the boss of the AI.
Kind of. They'd check the code, make sure it meets the standards, that kind of thing.
So they wouldn't be writing code themselves, they'd be managing the AI that does.
Exactly. And then the AI integration specialist.
Yeah, what about them?
Well, they'd be the ones making sure the AI's code works with everything else.
That sounds pretty complicated.
It would be. They'd need to know a lot about different systems.
So they need to be good with people and tech.
Yeah, it would be a very specialized skill set.
Makes you wonder how we would even train people for those jobs.
That's where education comes in.
Okay, right. We were talking about that earlier.
We need to start thinking about how to teach these new skills.
Because knowing how to code won't be enough anymore.
Right. It'll be about understanding AI, how to work with it.
It's almost like we're going from being coders to being,
Yeah.
like, AI whisperers.
I like that, AI whisperers. It's a whole new way of thinking about development.
It is, and it's exciting and a little scary all at the same time.
It definitely is. There are so many possibilities and challenges ahead.
And I think it's important to remember that we're not just talking about software development here.
You mean AI could change other industries too?
Exactly. What about finance, healthcare, even the arts?
Yeah, who knows what AI will be able to do?
It really makes you think about the future.
It does, and I think the key is to approach it with a sense of responsibility.
What do you mean?
Well, we need to make sure AI is used ethically and for good.
You're right. We need to make sure it doesn't, like, run away from us.
Right. It's up to us to guide its development and use it wisely.
That's a big responsibility.
It is, but it's also an incredible opportunity to shape the future.
Okay, so we've talked about the tech, the impact on jobs, and even how education might change.
Right. We've covered a lot.
But now let's get really crazy.
Okay, I'm ready.
What if, by 2025, AI really is coding like a mid-level engineer?
Yeah.
Where do we go from there?
Well, I mean, if it can do that by 2025,
Yeah.
what's stopping it from just getting better and better?
Right. It's not going to just stop learning, is it?
Exactly. We could be looking at AI designing entire systems.
Whoa, hold on.
AI architects, AI project managers.
AI running whole companies? Come on.
I know it sounds crazy, but
Yeah.
think about it. AI is already creative.
Okay, yeah, with art and music.
Exactly. So why not software or even business strategy?
I guess you have a point.
It's getting harder to see where the limits are.
So if AI can do all that,
Mm?
what are we humans even good for anymore?
I don't think it's about being good for something.
Okay, what do you mean?
I think we shift our focus. Remember all those human skills we talked about?
Like creativity and empathy and all that?
Exactly. Those are things AI isn't so good at.
So we focus on the big picture stuff.
Right. The things that need human thinking and feeling.
We become like the guides for AI.
I like that. We make sure it's being used the right way.
It's like a partnership, right? Humans and AI working together.
Yeah, we each bring our strengths to the table.
But, and I hate to be a downer,
Go on.
what about all those biases we talked about?
Yeah.
What if AI makes things worse, not better?
That's a real risk, for sure.
We have to be so careful.
We do. We need safeguards and rules and make sure humans are still in control.
It's a lot of power to give to AI.
It is. It's like giving someone a super fast car, but we have to make sure they know how to drive it safely.
That's a great way to put it. I have to say, this has been one wild deep dive.
It has. From smart speakers coding to AI CEOs.
It seems like the future of AI is full of amazing things.
Definitely. And challenges too, don't forget those.
True. We can't ignore those.
Yeah.
But the biggest takeaway for me is that we have a choice.
About how we use AI.
Exactly. And everyone listening, you have a choice too.
It's up to all of us to think about these things.
Yeah, to stay informed, to ask questions, and to make sure AI is used for good.
Well said. I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI coding. We'll see you next time.